Tagat Ceann Comhairle. Taoiseach, it's evident from your stance this afternoon that you've been brought to the position of an independent inquiry into these matters very, very reluctantly. It is also a matter of fact that we have clear-cut information, in fact records, because it's on the record of this Dáil, the fact that the Minister for Justice was less than forthcoming in his account to the Dáil, and that his account of matters did not tally with the document that he had received from GSOC. That we know. And I'd like to know, Taoiseach, what your response to that matter is and what you intend to do about it. We need clarity at this juncture around this proposed inquiry. All we know so far is that it will involve the appointment of a retired High Court judge. Can I ask you, Taoiseach, will you provide the Dáil with the full terms of reference for this inquiry? Why is it, Taoiseach, that it is the Minister for Justice who will set those terms of reference? He's hardly covered himself in glory throughout this episode. What will the powers of that judge be in respect of this inquiry? What will their access be to the systems and documents of An Garda Síochána? And will that judge have available to him or her a panel of experts with the kind of expertise to read, to understand and to interpret technical data and matters around surveillance? Because what this cannot be, Taoiseach, is simply the appointment of a judge to review documents. That is not sufficient. We need a thoroughgoing investigation, fully equipped with the required expertise, with the required powers to call and to compel witnesses and papers, so that that person can make balanced judgments and make findings of fact. And finally, Taoiseach, why is it that you would ask this judge to report back to the Minister for Justice? Given that GSOC is accountable in the first instance to the Oireachtas, is it not more appropriate that the judge, following the full inquiry such as I've outlined, reports back here to the houses of the Oireachtas?
Thank you. Taoiseach.
Well, surely you are not questioning the independence and the objectivity of a High Court judge. I don't expect that you're insinuating that in your comments here. The High Court judge will be appointed very shortly. The terms of reference will be drawn up by the Minister for Justice with the advice of the Attorney General. Those terms of reference will, of course, be published. It does mean that the High Court judge will have access to all of the documentation, all of the technical reports, and clearly in the requirement of clarity about the very sophisticated issues about technicality in those. Of course, you'll have the opportunity to have, expert personnel explain what those complex technicalities might be. They can be very difficult for many people to understand. Your point is fair about balanced judgment, and I expect that the decision taken by government here is a decision in the interests of finding fact and truth arising out of all of the documentation, all of the comments, all of the statements that have been made, some of which have been quite confusing. And I think it's important that as I say, that clarity bring the issue of integrity of both GSOC and the Garda Síochána right into play here. And for that reason, the decision of the government to have the Oireachtas Committee on Justice reflect with public hearings on the efficiency and effectiveness and robustness of the law is an important issue here. There have been a lot of claims made about that, and also the decision already announced by the Minister for Justice to make changes to the Garda Síochána Act insofar as GSOC is concerned, to make it more accountable, more transparent, more professional in the issue of the Act. So you've got a number of processes here now: the Oireachtas Committee, the High Court judge, the Minister going before the committee tomorrow, and the private members' discussion that takes place today and tomorrow. In all of these, Deputy MacDonald, the interest of the government is to see that what has emerged out of all of these hearings leads to a conclusion where the law can be made absolutely clear and transparent, where there's integrity and belief and trust in both organisations, which have a very important job to do, and that the committee in due course will respond to the Minister for public discussion here on recommendations insofar as the Act and how it might be changed or amended.
Deputy MacDonald.
Well, you know full well, Taoiseach, that I wasn't questioning the independence of any member of the judiciary, much less this judge, whoever she or he may be. Are you establishing this inquiry under the 2004 legislation, the Commission of Inquiry? So you're not. OK, so we have clarity on that. You're entrusting the setting of the terms of reference for this inquiry, and it is an inquiry, not a review, with the Minister for Justice. Can you not see, Taoiseach, how there is a difficulty, not just for members of this Dáil, but I would suggest for members of the public with that approach? Because Minister Shatter has been deliberately evasive, has used tactics deliberately to distract attention from the issues at play in respect of this GSOC debacle. He's done that consistently, and not alone all of us here, but the wide general public know that. So why set the terms of reference? Why leave them in his hands? Why ask that inquiry to report back directly to him? Why would this inquiry not report to the Houses of the Oireachtas? I mean, can we be guaranteed, for instance, that as and when this report finds its way back to the Minister, that the full report will be made public? For example, we need reassurances on these matters. We also need to have the reassurance that the judge in question will not alone have access sort of willy-nilly to expertise should the need arise. They need to have an established panel of experts to assist that person in carrying out their inquiry. They would also have to know that they would have the power to compel, if necessary, different individuals, including perhaps the Minister for Justice, Mr. Alan Shatter, to cooperate with the inquiry, and for that matter, the Garda Commissioner or any personnel from GSOC itself. And it's very important, Taoiseach, that you clarify and you're very specific on these matters this evening. And I take from your remarks, Taoiseach, that you and your government colleagues will be supporting the Sinn Féin motion when it comes before the House for debate this evening and for vote tomorrow evening.
Well, the government will not be supporting the Sinn Féin motion, aided and abetted by Fianna Fáil in this matter. The Minister will introduce a very clear set of amendments to your motion, which are in the interests of having clarity, transparency, fact and truth. What about here? Now, it's typical of you to play the old political football on all of this. This is not an inquiry under the 2004 Act. And this is terms of reference that are being set by the Minister for Justice as advised by the Attorney General. And don't tell me that you're insinuating that the Attorney General is in any way complicit in something that might not be fair and objective. I don't take that from your comments either. Nor do I accept your assertion. Nor do I accept your assertion that the Minister for Justice was trying to distract people's attention from the basic issues at stake here. The minister was briefed by the chairman of GSOC. He was given a written brief by the Minister of GSOC. He reported to the Dáil on that. He goes before the committee tomorrow with Deputy McLaughlin beside you, who can ask the Minister any question that he wishes in regard to this matter. And I'm quite sure Minister Shatter will deal comprehensively and at length for you, Deputy McLaughlin, about all of this. So the judge, of course, the judge's full report, unredacted, will be laid before the Houses of the Oireachtas and will be discussed by the Houses of the Oireachtas. Because from a government point of view, what we need here is to look at all of these papers, all of these statements, all of these technical reports, and see, arising out of all of this matter, what is the best thing to do. Meantime, Deputy Staunton's committee will reflect on the efficiency, effectiveness and robustness of the law and take into account public hearings from those people and personnel and others who've been very forthright about their views on the law as it currently stands and make recommendations to the Minister for Justice.
Thank you. We're over time, please.
This is
We're
not
way
an
over
inquiry
time.
for
Thank you.
calling witnesses. The judge, of course, will have at his disposal the opportunity to have expertise available in respect of very complex technical equipment. It's not an inquiry under the 2004 Act. It is the opportunity for a judge of the High Court to review all of these papers and present a completely objective and independent report to the Minister for Justice in the interests of sorting this out.
Thank you.